And so we are getting ready for the start here. And in the first 3 semifinals that have been run, in every one of them, one of these race birds got out to a huge lead and was able to maintain it. Here we go. They are starting to move. Chiappe for Rafa, Emma Kymäläinen for Brady, and for Team Czechia right there, Jeva going and trying to get a little bit of a move on. She had to check up just a little bit, and that let Chiappe and Kymäläinen actually nose ahead right now. Now, does Jeva read it again? Back off. They're coming up to that start line here, and it's all a matter of timing, and we are bows out and racing. This is very, very even here, and by rule, the 2 boats that are on screen right here have to stay to that side of that red buoy. The other ones would be to the outside. These are fairly close here, but now we come to that crucial turn, and look at that. Was a heck of a move by Chiappe. Used the boost at the right time. Sliced up, but now Emma noses ahead once again. We are foil to foil. This is absolutely superb. Closest start we've seen so far.
For sure. Brady and Rafa trying to time that really, really well, but Rafa just got in the upper hand as it stands, going into this first hairpin set of corners, 3, 4, 5. Now coming out of this exit of turn 5 onto the next straight on this final sector, or the second of 3 sectors. This is where the ground could be made up and the difference can be made. Can Team Rafa hold this position? Look at that. They're disturbing the water for the 2 boats behind them, creating wake, throwing them completely off balance whilst increasing their own lead.
And again, there's nothing wrong with, if you are clear of the race birds behind you, to drift over a little bit, try and get them into the rough water. That's just good racecraft. Staying fairly close. You can see Team Rafa, Chiappe, up on the boost. And again, the way that works, you get 20 seconds of boost, then you have to wait 40 seconds for it to sort of recharge and cool down. Then you can boost again. Emma Kymäläinen on boost at turn-in. This is kind of interesting, you know, waiting till later and then staying on the boost a little bit through the turn-in, trying to carry more speed through the corners here. But Tom Chiappe, he has a superb opening lap here and puts it out here. Now remember, these combined standings you see on the screen, they factor in where you are in terms of both pilots, and it's a simple points tally, and that determines who's on top, as they are the only 3 who have done now competed in 2 semifinals. That's why they're going to show up first on the screen. But Chiappe again starting to open it up, and I wanted to ask you, in those first 3 semifinal rounds, we saw one race bird just really go and just be able to check out. What's your thoughts on what might be, giving them that kind of a launch?
I think it largely is down to that timing, of when they choose their moment to go through the gate, when to use the boost on that first long straight. I think ultimately the balance and the setup, and one thing that teams can customize is the use of prop. Now there's 3 props that they can choose, and that ultimately changes whether you're going to opt for a more acceleration favorable setup or a more top speed favorable setup. On calmer waters, if you've got the balance right, you might want to go for a top speed, which could be the difference to why when they do get ahead, they stay ahead.
Yeah, it's and they've found something here, and you can see Tom Brady with Alejandro Agag watching and seeing Emma Kymäläinen slipping backwards. She's 14 seconds adrift. This is what we have seen in the first ones. And basically, if Tom Chiappe at this stage, we think if he can finish second or better, they would be through probably to the final round. He would like to get after it at this stage. And if Checo finishes in second, that would be obviously pretty crucial too. But he's not taking any chances. He's just driving away.
Yeah, of course, the best of the second place is advancing as well. But if Checo is able to get into second place in this semi-final, then that will give the points necessary for Brady to, having lost those points,
right,
and ultimately finishing third in this semi-final, to then within the combined standings get Rafa into that top spot.
And that's obviously really crucial, and for Team Brady as well. Remember, after winning both of the opening races, ended up not making it to the finals in Puerto Banús. So, that's mission 1 for them, is do what we have to do to get into a shot at the finals at this stage. And unfortunately, right now for Team Czechia, again, Jeva just not able to match the pace. Certainly, if Tom Chiappe, but struggling right now to be able to stay with Emma Kymäläinen.
So Emma Kymäläinen just used the long lap and is about an 11-second gap so far. So when Team Rafa get into that long lap, they need it to work very well. It needs to be very, very time efficient. They can't lose too much time, because as we saw, 13 to 15 seconds is kind of the window that you might lose in the long lap.
And if you time it wrong and you do your long lap and then you come out at the merge and you get stuck behind one of the other race birds, you're in that rough water, in that wake, and that is going to cost you time. So lots of strategy at play here. Emma Kimmelainen is setting the fastest first sector of anyone so far in this semifinal. So she's starting to find a little bit of speed, but the problem is, as you said, there's a lot of ground that she is going to need to make up here. But as you pointed out, both long laps are done, and it's still really close at this stage for Tom, isn't it?
14 seconds a gap. This could be pretty close once Team Rafa go in, do their long lap. It might come out with just a few seconds in. So Tom really needs to hammer down on this lap, build up as much time as possible to give himself the breathing room when using the long lap.
You see there right now, Emma recently used her boost. You can see it on the cool down, and Tom Chiappe has boost on demand. It is ready whenever he wants it here. And there is Tom Brady watching that beautiful golden colored race bird in the hands of this very quick Finn. Emma Kimmelainen really putting it down here. Now it is Team Rafa, Chiappe up on the boost, trying to build that margin as you were talking about. And he needs to, because Emma has trimmed that. She had trimmed it down to 13 seconds. Now it's back up to about that same margin, and so it's not yet, I would think, super comfortable for him at this stage. And he has completed that long lap, and you can see at the merge, pretty close.
Absolutely, it was well timed to use the boost right at the good moment, going just before into the long lap, maximizing the acceleration to kind of hold the speed through the long lap and lose as little time as possible. And it has worked. He's retained the lead, or it kept the lead, and now this is just about keeping the race bird balance and getting the win, bringing it home.
Absolutely, and we're just, we haven't seen it yet, but if somebody completes a long lap and there are two race birds coming together at the merge, Inside Boat has priority on that lane, so you can't just carve into them. We haven't had anything on a merge at this point of the competition quite that close. And remember here, looking at the combined standings, it literally is a points tally from how you finish in the first semifinal and then how your co-pilot finishes in the second semifinal. That puts you where you are. So at the end of this one, we'll be able to see who's leading. These are the only 3 race birds who have now run in 2 semifinals. That's why they are alone up there right now. That will be changed. At this point, this would mean Brady goes directly to the final. If you win one of your semifinal combos, you go right to the final round, and that's crucial. You don't have to worry about another race in a place race or a potential playoff, and that's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's much closer now than we've seen between first and second in the semi-finals so far, all the way into the final laps. Whereas, Team Checo, Perez, a little bit off the pace a bit. And again, we're seeing an example of the challenge of being a reserve driver with Jeva Miller-Hagen coming in and just kind of struggling maybe to get up to speed with all the complexities that come with racing a race bird.
Interestingly, her last lap, however, was 5 seconds quicker than Chiappe's last lap. And obviously that's because of that long lap, but she's starting to find a little bit of pace. But Emma Kimmelainen, as you talked about, has trimmed that margin down to only 6 seconds. It was actually down under 5, but then Chiappe was able to get on the boost a little bit. But now you can see Emma right behind in the spray on the boost, and as she starts to close in, Tom Chiappe goes hard onto the boost as well, but this is close. And obviously the camera compresses things just a little bit, but how spectacular are these visuals with these race birds running that close, the spray flying off of the foils. This is spectacular stuff. It's spectacular tech, and what a similarly spectacular run here for Tom Chiappe. But that margin again, she has trimmed it down to under 4 seconds. Coming to the line, Chiappe will get the win for Rafa, but Kimmelainen slices through into second for 5th, and Tom Chiappe, they will be going along with Brady with that finish. Brady will be going straight to the final. What a comeback after a struggle in Puerto Banús.
Yeah, a huge redemption story there with the team boss Tom Brady on site to motivate them, give some pep talks, some team speeches now going into the final and try and bring that win home, because that is a man that knows nothing other than winning.
Yeah.